Hello and thanks for joining. My name is Leciejewski, VP of North American Sales for our storage and converged platforms business in the modern data center team. And today we're talking about cloud and Dell EMC's cloud strategies. First things first, the changing needs of workloads are really driving a number of different cloud strategies. Customers are looking to modernize investments, leverage hybrid cloud, in some cases refactor or develop new capabilities for cloud. So whether it's existing workloads or cloud native workloads, this is agenda number one in most of our customer environments. Now, layer on another interesting observation in the latest research report from IDC is that cloud repatriation, or workloads that are returning from the public cloud back to on-prem, is at an all-time high. 50% of the applications that were moved to the public cloud are on their way back. And actually, 80% of the customers that put a workload in the public cloud are evaluating a way to potentially bring it back. The drivers are security, performance, and cost as the top three, control, and then a reduction in shadow IT being the fourth and fifth. So when we really think about what's happening in this multi-cloud world, it's almost a look back to the operational silos we had 20 or 30 years ago. We had a silo for mainframe and iSeries and Unix and Windows and x86. We've now got silos for AWS and Azure and Google and on-prem. And all of these multi-clouds are creating the next paradigm of problem statement in IT, which is operational silos. And with these operational silos come disparate management and orchestration tools, which leads to a bunch of complexity around lifecycle management and then a delivery of a relatively inconsistent SLA. And with 93% of customers deploying across 2 or more public clouds, this problem statement's getting even worse with time. So when you really look at Dell EMC's hybrid cloud strategy, we really have an answer from the top down and from the bottom up. From the top down, it's really transforming to create a cloud operating model, and then from the bottom up, modernizing infrastructure to become more cloud friendly and more cloud enabled. So let's start with where and how we are transforming to help customers with a cloud operating model. If we really look at the Dell Technologies Cloud Platform, it's a consistent operating model from on-prem to public cloud to the edge and everywhere in between. If you really think about the role that VMware plays, they ultimately become the operational hub of the Dell Technologies Cloud Platform by leveraging VMware Cloud Foundations. So think of this for things like visibility, governance, operations, container management, and operations. So this operational hub naturally needs a place to ultimately live. And that's really on a Dell Technologies infrastructure foundation. Whether you're running that on hyper-converged and software-defined, converged, or traditional storage arrays, we create the overall infrastructure platform that operational hub is built upon. And then if you really kind of stack this, it starts with this foundation of infrastructure, and then layers on top of that consistent infrastructure, the consistent operating model, or the operational hub components from the VMware Cloud Foundations, and then it's wrapped or ultimately delivered with value-added services. This end-to-end Dell Technologies Cloud Platform is second to none in the industry, and really how we are helping customers deliver infrastructure and platform as a service, how we're building for cloud-native workloads, and integrating agile, DevOps, and workload migration into that cloud operating model. Now, it's great to have a top-down cloud approach, but we also have a bottom-up cloud strategy, which ultimately centers around modernizing infrastructure, or cloud-enabling our storage and data protection. And if you really think about the use cases here around DR, backup, archive, retention, and analytics, you start to see the opportunities that cloud-connected or cloud-modernized infrastructure can begin to play. So naturally, we have the ability to deploy platforms on-prem. We also have the ability to deploy many of our operating systems within the public cloud. I think of some of our data protection assets that can both protect and live in the public cloud. I think about some of our cloud operating systems that can natively live in the public cloud. But we've also got an emerging capability to run workloads next to the public clouds in the hosted example. So let's double click on a couple of these. A great example here of ultimately having our storage operating system living in the public cloud is Unity Cloud Edition, where I can run the Unity OS natively in an AWS public cloud, and I can move workload to and from it with full VMware integration. A great use case here might be replication to the cloud, or maybe some scenarios for testing and development, but a great native in the public cloud example. The second here might be where we run workloads next to the public cloud. So example here might be a storage array on-prem like every customer has. And then a customer can rent or own or utilitize data or space that sits next to the public cloud, in this case, in a hosted managed service provider. Think about the native connection between on-prem and to the hosted asset. I'm using native tools like SRDF replication or Unity replication. And then when that data is sitting as an owned, rented, or utilitized portion of that managed service cloud, I've got limitless connections into all of these public clouds. So think of this as a pretty advanced layer 2 networking connection, such that the data on that storage platform appears as if it is native in the AWS, Amazon, or Google, or Azure public cloud. So I don't have the data ingress or the data egress. I don't have the data formatting issues, but I can leverage the service catalog from all of these public clouds. I can leverage the compute platforms from all these public clouds and connect it to local data that I can then synchronize back on-prem very easily with our native tools. A really, really unique and differentiated solution in our cloud data service. And you can start to look at this, whether I'm moving data for DR, for replication, for analytics, to leverage certain service catalog components, but I've got a number of functions there, and I've also got a fully integrated solution with VMware Site Recovery Manager to create an end-to-end automated disaster recovery solution that again allows me to leverage multiple public clouds simultaneously. And I can do all of this, both on-prem, right, or in this multi-cloud world with the best cloud data insights from Cloud IQ for real-time predictive analytics, anomaly detection, and ultimate optimization advice based on my infrastructure. Simple monitoring and analysis of storage from any browser or really any mobile device. And you think about Dell Technologies, our cloud story really ultimately delivers from the bottom up, from the infrastructure up. And those workloads can be DR, backup, data retention, or analytics. But they also deliver from the top down, ultimately using VMware as the operational hub, and then our Dell Technologies infrastructure platform to deliver IaaS, PaaS, Agile or DevOps frameworks, or workload migration. And then the ability to connect these worlds through cloud consulting and support services and financial models to buy, rent, or consume at any different rate. The end-to-end Dell Technologies platform is second to none. And a great place to get started is by really engaging in a modernization assessment of their existing infrastructure, or looking at particular readiness for workloads, or ultimately looking at where consumption and deployment models may make more sense. So whether it's an infrastructure analysis, a workload analysis, or a financial analysis, we've got the tools and solutions to help our customers with the cloud journey. Good luck and good selling.